We are back here on Girl Talk. We are with Ron Palmer here at Porsche dealership. It's so much fun. There are so many beautiful things to see and do. I know. Concorda Elegance is coming up.
It is.
But before we talk about that, I have to tell you, when I walk into the dealership, it is absolutely glorious. The colors and the styles of the cars.
Yes.
I have to comment on this one because it's really interesting.
It is.
Tell me a little bit. There's a story behind this?
It's an air-cooled car, and a customer sold it to us, so we're going to resell it. But it's a 1991 964 with about 60,000 original miles, 26 coats of original amethyst paint, hand rubbed. So we are moving into some of the classics, which we talked about last time. Not only for sale, but we added some technicians that actually specialize in air-cooled. So we do some restoration work, mainly the motors and the mechanical. People sometimes get the body work done a couple different places, but we also have a beautiful body shop that actually is certified for Porsche because there's so much aluminum on the car. So that's a different beast when you try and repair it.
And classics are glorious. We love them.
Oh, they are. Yeah,
but
Porsches especially.
I hear that you are going to be taking a trip to introduce, to look at a new Cayenne.
I'm not sure how I feel about that.
I
love the Cayenne.
Yeah.
No problem with that. But they're going to launch the new 2018 Cayenne in Africa. So I go to Johannesburg and then I fly a little plane out into the bush, and they give me a little bag. I got like 20 pounds of personal items, and so we're out in the bush in the desert and swamp, and we're going to be driving them and putting them through its paces. So I'm pretty excited.
Well, tell me a little bit about the Cayenne. What are you expecting that's going to be new, different, predictable?
Actually, the car is like the Panamera. There's a Generation 1 and Generation 2, so it's completely new. So this vehicle will actually be completely new. So the technology is probably the main thing in the Panamera. They're following along with the Panamera. So to give an idea, the original Panamera, like the Cayenne, has like 3 million pieces of code. F16 has 30 million pieces of code. The new Panamera and the Cayenne have 100 million pieces of code.
Pieces of code.
In the computer systems.
Pieces of code.
Right. And
wow.
It's a very large computer, unlike some of the other cars. It's going to be the same technology in the Cayenne. In all other manufacturers, you had a brake computer, you have a suspension computer, an engine computer. It's one large computer now, and actually everything works simultaneously. So it's making many adjustments all across the car.
Is your Porsche person, if you will, or buyer, someone who is interested in the technology or in the amethyst color? I find it really interesting because it's really about performance, but it's also about aesthetics. Is that something that Porsche buyers really look at, that kind of that combination?
Well, I think they're different buyers. There's definitely a different buyer that enjoys, I think everybody enjoys looking at the classics.
Right.
And some would enjoy owning it more than others. And then some, the reason Porsche is going into the technology side is that's what all the cars are doing. So the technology of the car actually is incredible now, as far as all the things that the car can do and all the data that you can get from the car. And they're really, Porsche and a lot of the manufacturers, but especially Porsche, they went from maybe not being a leader in technology. They're so far ahead of everybody now.
It's pretty exciting.
It is.
You know, the Concorda Elegance is coming up always in November.
November 4th and 5th.
Exactly. You're really excited about everything that you're going to be doing there. Yeah,
it's real exciting. I invite you out on November 4th and 5th, and then we're going to have some static display of Porsches. There's going to be a Panamera Sport Turismo, which is a new model for us, which is like a crossover Panamera. It's really wild. I've seen some at the museum in Atlanta. So please come out. You'll see a full array of Porsches. And one of the things that's really powerful is we have so many people come into town for that event. We might talk to as many people over those 2 days as we do all, maybe for 6 months. And there's a lot of people that fly in from all over, good friends of ours and Porsche customers. So it's an unbelievable event.
The event is bar none the best. Well, I've known Carolyn forever and a day, and she does a heck of a job.
It's very beautiful, but please come out and look at the Porsches. So you can look at anything. There'll be a little bit of everything there, but we'll have a full array, probably about 6 or 7 products that you can look at, in addition to the Sport Turismo.
Let me ask you a question about the Low Country and the buyers here. Is there one of these cars that people tend to, in the Low Country, gravitate toward more than another? Because we are south. I mean, is
Well,
there
we've had a real uptick. The new Macan is our smaller version of a sport utility. It's actually a sports car with a sport utility body.
Right.
And that has just become very dominant. It's perfect for the island. You can take people to dinner. The 911s are great.
Yes.
But you can't take anybody to dinner with you.
Okay, good point.
And a lot of people have a lot of different activities. Some are boaters, some are bikers, hikers. So the new
Yeah.
Macan, you can put a kayak on it, you can put bicycles on it, you can take people to dinner, and it still handles really good.
I'm thinking kayak on Porsche. That just sort of gave me that.
Be careful how you put it up there, right? So that's the new Macan right
It's
there.
so gorgeous.
Yep.
I mean, I looked at it when I walked in. It was like nothing I'd seen
Yeah.
before. It's absolutely beautiful.
But some of the people in the low country, they enjoy their sports cars, so
Yeah.
this becomes a second car, the
Well,
Macan.
that actually makes sense
It does,
to me.
yeah. So they'll enjoy the sports car, and maybe one of the cars will be this, and also our Cayenne. But for the first time in the history of Porsche, I think our two sport utilities actually make up a little over 50% of
Do
the
they
sales.
really?
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of an
Of the total
interesting
brand, so.
statistic. It really is. Look forward to seeing you at the Concorda Elegance.
Good.
And as always, if you haven't been out here, it really is fun just to come and take a look at everything that you have here.
Come
It's
to the
fabulous.
candy store, the Porsche candy store.
I like that. Come to the candy store. It's all
Yes,
good. You got
yes.
that on Girl Talk? You all, thank you so much for joining us. See you next week. Bye-bye.